Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the crooked show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man Donovan Sadiq in the building. The Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Say, man, yesterday some of y'all was missing in action. You talked all that shit, but that National Guard had your ass scared to come out the hive. Where the hell the Proud Boys at, man? Yeah, I know what it is, man. Y'all some suckers. Y'all some lollipops. Man, let's get to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. Because without you guys, we would not have a show and nothing would be done. So thank y'all for taking time out to come and hang out with the two black independents and the crazy black Republican. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do about it? Now I'm gonna tell y'all the rules of engagement, man. In 2021, I think I done waited a couple of weeks to let you know. In 2021, I ain't holding my tongue. In 2021, I'm gonna give you the business every chance I get. So if you make a stupid comment, you're gonna get a stupid prize. I'm just telling you. This is not Phil Donahue or Oprah. We will respond in a highly intelligent Negro fashion. That's why they love us so much. Well, what I want to talk about is they had a meeting today in regards to council member Greg Travis. You remember he made those nasty comments about Michelle Obama and Kamala. And I'm not a Kamala fan, but you keep your mouth off our black women. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. Well, according to what I understand, under the city charter, the council has the power to hold city council member Greg Travis accountable. Under council rules, a complaint by any member of city council alleging misconduct can start the process to investigate the misconduct, and if found guilty of misconduct, to hold a council member accountable. To date, no council member has initiated a complaint to determine if council member Travis should be held accountable. This is my comment on that. If you got a problem with anything that Greg Travis said, that's why I never touched it. I never really, went in like I should have went in. But if you sitting up there next to this dude and you feel he done disrespected you, ain't none of us out here need to say nothing. It should be y'all up there complaining. But y'all so busy worrying about other stuff, and we know what that is, monetary other stuff, that you ain't gonna just speak up for yourself. So, what is it, man? You really don't have a problem with nothing Greg said, because if you did, you'd have initiated a complaint by now. So I tell you what's gonna happen. When he called one of y'all a nigger in open council, don't get mad. Donovan, what's going on, man?
Guys, welcome to the Thursday edition of the War Zone, the greatest conversation on the net. Thanks to you guys, our friends out there, and our enemies. Don't want to forget that. It is day 2 of the Biden disappointment. Why do I call it the Biden disappointment? Because already he has shown that he is not concerned about black people and what their issues are. Warnick, who just got to the Senate, said that his number one priority is the COVID crisis. And don't get me wrong, that is a priority, but that's an everybody priority. I'm very sure they can chew bubblegum and walk at the same time, but then again, maybe they can't. So Biden has got this. He's going through the agenda. I was on the phone today, or on the news today, in Arizona, which was a very contested state. They tried to contest it and stuff. The Hispanics in Arizona said that they are going to keep Joe Biden accountable for delivering him a Republican state and turned it blue. And they're going to be watching him very closely, that to make sure that he does what they wanted him to do. Now, I asked myself when I was watching that, wow, that's very strange. why should, she expect them to do what they promised to do? You gave them your votes, but why is it that Biden and they're so susceptible to these Hispanics and their votes, but they're not worried about our votes? They're like, oh, well, who gives a damn? Black people, just whatever. But that's how it's supposed to work. But that's exactly what we've been telling you guys. It's a transaction. You don't give them your vote before they deliver the goods, or you make sure you get a guarantee. So once again, Joe Biden has shown that the Black agenda is being pushed back for everybody else. We can wait a little bit longer. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. He's doing executive orders straight down the pipe. As far as the impeachment, Mitch McConnell wants to delay it. And once again, the Democrats are like, oh, okay. I'm going to put up a link for you guys to look at. Her name is Tamara Johnson Shealy, and she's going over a lot of the amendments. If you look at some of the amendments that the Democrats have proposed coming into office this week, they're doing the Republican agenda. So I'm going to share that with you guys a little bit later.
So hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night's edition of the War Zone. I hope you guys are all having a great day and a great week so far. If you can do us a favor and share the live so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation. I just want to touch upon what you said, Gary. I saw the news conference with the Black women of Houston, I guess. I don't know. And I heard them at the news conference saying, Greg. And I'm like, oh, okay, they really getting the ball rolling. They really going to do something. And he's still there. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to talk about the Proud Boys. If you guys don't know who the Proud Boys are, they are a right-wing organization that came into existence right around the time that Trump took office, and they are an all-male group. It is said that they are politically pro-violent. They're a group that's of violence they believe in, as you guys saw on the 6th. On the insurrection on the Capitol, where they went and tried to force their hand, and a lot of violence took place including murder rather. And so they find themselves a little bit disappointed because, Trump is the one that gave them the whistle to go stand back and stand by. And so I guess to them that really meant something. And then of course Trump gave them the signal to go ahead on the 6th and do their thing. And they feel like Trump has abandoned them because quite a few of them have been gaffled up and they are facing long prison terms as a federal offense, as you guys didn't know. And one of their other leaders just got arrested today. And so they're being arrested one by one, the Proud Boys. And so they feel like Trump has abandoned them. And even I saw an article where they're talking about, well, maybe we should embrace Biden a little bit. So, Gary?
Y'all smell that? I smell pussy. Yeah, proud pussies. Don't be mad at Trump. On the real, man. Your nuts shriveled up. You supposed to go back out there yesterday. Ain't none of you motherfuckers showed up. What happened? The Ubers wasn't working? Say, man, ain't none of y'all showed up. That's all that woofing y'all be doing. And you should have saved the 6th to the 20th. That's what I think. You got your dates messed up. So, but now you want to feel like you can shit on your man. No. Let's slow down a little bit. I don't want you to shit on him. I want you to kick it with him. Because your motherfucking hood pass has been revoked. We don't need you over here. Don't need you to come back talking about we gonna kick it with whoever. No. Keep that same motherfucking energy. See, because now y'all ain't got no political protection. Can't run around here with that silly shit. And then if y'all are who y'all are, which is us, and you can truly smell a pussy from a mile away, the next time you go out and protest and one of them jump fly, knock his grill out his mouth. People ain't gonna do nothing about it anyway.
Yeah. If you guys have been watching, you can go on YouTube and you can go all across the nation where all of these people are being rounded up. And, it's just amazing how tough you can talk when you have the political cover. But now that the cover isn't there, yeah, well, it's just like my mother always told me. White people can't come at a black person by themselves. They got to come together to get one black person. They got to come together because they're cowards. But here these people are talking all tough and doing all that. And here's the funny thing about it. They call themselves the Proud Boys or these white supremacists. And most of the people that are rounding them up are white supremacists themselves. Their own people are rounding them up and locking them up. And these people are looking at some serious jail time because you're talking about insurrection. And here's another thing I want you guys to concentrate on. They are all saying that Donald Trump made me do it. I did it because of this. When Trump goes on trial in the Senate, it is going to be very hard for him to defend. I didn't tell him to go to the Capitol. I didn't tell him to go to the Capitol. All of the defendants that are being rounded up around the country are all saying, Daddy, the bigger boy told me to do it. So this is going to be interesting as this thing all plays out. Very, very interesting.
Man, they ain't got no nuts. Where the fuck them people was yesterday, man? All of us sitting back, we standing by, watching, and ain't none of y'all showed up. Man, them people were finna knock a hole in y'all ass yesterday. Y'all already knew it. So you stayed your proud ass at home. I don't even think they should be called the Proud Boys no more. I don't think they should be called the Proud Boys no more. They the lollipop crew. Cause they ain't nothing but some suckers. That's all they the lollipop crew. Dimitri.
So yeah, they definitely have a problem within their organization. But so Gary, you said now they don't have any political protection. They never had political protection. They never had it. All they had was Trump, who is, you guys have all seen The Wiz or The Wizard of Oz, right? I'm thinking of The Wiz. The man behind the curtain, right? We think that, Oz is just big, powerful dude, but when you pull the curtain back, it's just little measly dude. And that's what Trump was. He sold them a bunch of, wolf tickets and pipe dreams, and they thought they really had the backing of Trump, probably even up until the time he left office, because you guys know he issued his pardons at the last minute. So they probably were thinking, oh, well, for sure, we're going to get these pardons, and he didn't. He left them hanging. So you guys know the insurrection happened on the 6th, and on the 8th, it took him 2 days to come out and finally denounce all of the violence, even though we saw him on the video say, go down to Congress and, and basically let them know what the deal is. And so he left them hanging. So, of course, they're upset about that. But, I mean, they have really nobody to blame but themselves. I mean, to me, I think it takes common sense to realize you can't go do that stuff. Somebody is going to hold you accountable. And so, I mean, they really did it to themselves. So,
well, holding them accountable is the thing that we would expect. But we live in the United States of America. We live in America. Now, if that was a bunch of black folk, they gonna hold them accountable. They put them in front of a firing squad. That's what they did to us. But we ain't seen the process work out yet. A whole bunch of motherfuckers gonna start hollering about they was crazy. They wasn't in their right mind, and I just don't see them getting hardly nothing. I really don't. I mean, they ain't yet to charge anybody for murder. And I mean, you got people that ended up dead up in there. So, I already feel like they not gonna do much or nothing to them folk, man. And when I say political protection, right now they looking kind of crazy because of the way that they did it. And the man was on his way out the door. You can already see that the government officials were gonna handle this a different way. So, they knew Trump wouldn't be there long enough to help them. So now, if they real about it, the political protection and what I'm describing is when they go in them courtrooms, they gonna treat them like they supposed to treat them. And if they don't, that's that political protection. But they ran their mouth And I'm not trying to gas them up to go out there and do anything. I just feel y'all some punks. You some punks from the gate. And somebody up there say, y'all worried about the Proud Boys? I ain't worried about it now, boy. None. They can be proud. They can be some proud dead boys.
The other thing too, I think needs to be entered into the conversation. They really believed that the country would, go into shambles if Trump wasn't in office anymore. I don't know if you guys saw the video of, and Jonelle actually sent it to me, as a white lady who was just boo-hooing and she's bawling. Trump is no longer in office. What are we going to do? We're going to die. I don't want to be here anymore. Our country is... And they really believed that. They believed if Trump wasn't in office, that, the country was going to go, to hell in a handbasket as far as they're concerned. And so that's why a lot of them were out there. They were like, hey, this is our last chance to really take back what's ours. And they really believed in their heart of hearts that they were going to flip over to Congress and get their way. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, anybody who has followed Trump's career knows that he's a salesman. That's what he does. He sells people these dreams. Oh, you could do this, you can do that. And for some reason, they believed it. And well, now they're going to probably do a lot of time. And he's going to be at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, let me say this here. You say the lady was crying, saying she didn't know what they were going to do. Well, I can help her with that one. Why don't you get your people and go back where you come from? Wasn't y'all on a boat lost when you found this motherfucker? You go back where you come from. You always tell us to go back where we come from. You hijacked us, but you found this motherfucker by mistake. It's simple. Go back where you come from. It wasn't your country to begin with.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I hope a lot of people noticed. These weren't your everyday, low average white person protesting. A lot of the people protesting had significant jobs and were CEOs and businesses of $300,000, six-figure salaried people that were actually storming the Capitol. And when Trump was ready to leave on his last day, he couldn't get one person to show up. I think that if you look at the videos on YouTube, there was one person that showed up because they were supposed to be like, Trump draws a crowd. And like one guy showed up and he traveled from like 2 states or something. And he was like, what happened? Where is everybody? But they're saying a big portion of why a lot of these people are not coming out anymore is the fact that they saw that they are using technology to arrest these people. So they don't want their faces on camera. They don't want to do all these things because they're worried about losing their jobs. Because let's face it, a lot of these white people work in the municipalities. They work for the counties or the parishes. And, they've got government jobs, state jobs. And so they don't want to risk losing what little stuff that they have because these people are dealing with serious time. We complain about, the cops with their body cams. But see, Big Daddy is everywhere. He's watching us everywhere. So for them to even attempt to overthrow the government in broad daylight, that shows you just because you're white and you got money doesn't mean you're smart.
Tasha Stewart Diaz, if I'm saying your last name right. Why y'all worried about Trump he out of office? Or why y'all got y'all motherfucking mouth on Joe Biden ass? We black media. We talking about the current topics. Y'all feeling me? We ain't no different than CNN and whoever. We just give it to you raw and uncut. So me, I'm not worried about Trump. Never was worried about it. Ain't worried about Joe. Neither one of them cocksuckers gonna do anything for me. So, I'm just gonna clarify that. We ain't worried about Trump. Don't give a fuck about Joe Biden either. What you got going on, Demetri?
I'm gonna put this video up so you can see what I was talking about. So if you can, hold on a second. Play.
President Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag. This is America. This is our President Trump, please, I hope you have a plan. God, please save us. Save us from the devil, please. Y'all about to have a panic attack. This is our country. Our country. This is awful. God, please save us, please. President Trump, if you see.
Say, man, the woman said she having a panic attack. Nah, motherfucker, you having a fifth of gin attack. That's what you're having. You having a fifth of gin attack. You on that alcohol? This is our land. Didn't you steal it? This ain't yours. This was never yours. You hijacked it. She ain't having no panic attack, Demetri. That's a fifth of gin attack.
Yeah, she's hitting that Henny. But you know, that's the crazy thing about these people. They're like, this is our, you know, and that shows you how crazy they are, because who's writing the laws to let other people in this country? It definitely ain't black people. So the ADOS people that were here, we're already here. Nothing you can do about that. Who's going to let 11 million illegals into the country by executive order and give them a pathway to citizenship, which is going to devalue the black person's vote when you let that amount of people come into the country at one time? So who's writing all of these laws? Republicans. The last president that gave amnesty was Ronald Reagan. I think the last time I checked, he was a Republican. And that was over 3 million at the time, illegal people that were already in the country. Didn't Joe Biden just stop the wall from being built? And Joe Biden doesn't look black to me. So who is writing these laws to let these people come in and overstay their visas and all this other stuff? The Mazunga, her people. And yet, oh God, come save us. Save you from what? The browning of America? What the hell do you think was going to happen? I mean, we're it. Everybody wants to, you know, have black culture. Everybody wants to do what we do. We're it.
Well, I tell you this here. I really think that if she's that concerned, she should create her a group that's called, you know, and I told y'all I'm not holding back this year. I'm not. She could create her a group. Demetri, hold on to your chip. Called Fuck a Little Something. If you're concerned about y'all being outpopulated, instead of worrying about Trump, go fuck a little something. Go have you some babies. That's what you need to do. Y'all be on some, you've been making so much money you forgot to fuck. You ain't populating like you should. And then some of y'all be on some dumbest shit because you ain't in the fucking grown people. You fucking horses and shit. Go get you some real ass and populate. Then you wouldn't have to worry about being, you know, so far down the fucking totem pole.
Yeah, that was very hilarious, to say the least. Like, are you kidding me, lady? You really believe that? Like, what? Trump made a bunch of money up until his very last day, and that's what he wanted out of the whole thing. He wanted to enrich himself and his family. He never really wanted to be president. I mean, even the Biden administration was like, they didn't even leave us a COVID plan at all. They didn't even have a plan. They being the Trump administration. So he wasn't there to really help anybody else. He's like most people in his position. They use people. Even their own people were used. And still there's a lot of them who think, oh, you know, he was cheated, this, that, and the other. And so they're just, I hate to say it, they're just stupid. Just dumb. Like, how do you, like, really? Trump hasn't had to do any hard labor or any of that kind of stuff in his whole life. All he's had to do was just point the finger and tell people what to do. And unfortunately, you know, the people who was at the rally and the MAGA crowd and the Proud Boys, they all fell for that. And so, you know, Trump won't go to jail. Remember his first, when he was campaigning, he was out there, go ahead and punch him in the face. I'll pay your legal fees. And somehow they believed all of that.
And he didn't pay those legal fees.
And he's not going to pay the legal fees. And so it's like, whose fault is that you're that stupid?
you know, I'll say some of them believe it. You know, they believe the shit. But a lot of these people, they already knew the dude was crazy, man. But just because they could do what they wanted to do, say what where they thought they could say what they wanted to say to people, you know, they just ran with that shit. Like Mitch O'Connell right now with your little fuck ass games you playing. Nah, but when you was in power, you was the dude. You ain't the dude no more. You ain't the dude. You playing games now. You see what I'm saying? But if the Democrats had any sense, they give it to their ass these next 4 years. At least for the next 2, you got them bent over. You can long dick their ass for the next 2 years, man. But I guess some of them running around Washington with some short dicks because they don't want no parts of them Republicans.
Exactly. You know, we're sitting here talking about the Trumpsters, but let's not forget, you got Negroes running around with Mardi Gras beads and Chuck Taylors on, thinking that a change is going to come. To me, that is more crazy. What's that saying? Who's the fool or the fool that follows him? And that's, to me, I think is even more crazier, because you think that the minute Joe Biden got inaugurated, racism is going to stop. This is going to stop. You know, things are going to be better for Black people. He's doing absolutely nothing for us. Nothing. And we gave him the White House. How would you feel that it took your $20,000 for me to get my dream home, and you helped me, you know, and, you know, you stood by me. I thank you so much. Oh, God, great. Oh, thank you so much, right? And then the first thing that I do is I throw a housewarming party, and I don't even invite you, the very person that made it eligible for me to even have this house. I remember in 2007, 2008, when the economy crashed, I was going to church. This lady said, when she first got her house, she worked at Taco Bell, and she qualified for a $465,000 house. Oh, the Lord has blessed me, and it's so good. And the Lord is so good. Economy crashed. Oh, the Lord, why did he curse me the way he's doing? The devil is a lie. Get this house up off of me. That is what's crazy to me. You've got Negroes right now that are defending white supremacy, because every time you ask them, just straight up, what is Joe Biden going to do for Black people? They can't tell you anything. Student loans, $10,000. He's slowly backing away from that. He doesn't want to do anything for Black people because he has another base of people he is panning to right now. Just like he said, you niggas are going to have to start taking orders from these Mexicans. So get ready.
Well, you said a mouthful right there, big homie, because I ain't doing it. I ain't taking no orders from none of them. And these people running around here, some of y'all say they look like fools. No, they look like Boo Boo the Fool. The Proud Boys look like Boo Boo the Fool. All of them. And now we get this. I'm standing by laughing at y'all ass. Because you looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Where y'all motherfucker was yesterday? I'm still trying to. I got my locator on my phone, man. I'm trying to locate some of y'all. You motherfucker was missing in action. You couldn't be in the military. Because you was AWOL yesterday. Motherfucker couldn't find y'all with a microscope. Them satellites up in the sky couldn't have found you scary motherfuckers yesterday.
Also, you know, the Proud Boys are calling Trump weak, calling him a shrill, and he's weak, and, you know, for deserting them and not, they're really mad at him for leaving office. They felt like he should have stayed in there and, you know, not given up the position, even though he was voted out. They felt like he should have stayed, and so they called him weak.
If he'd have stayed, he ain't had no backup. The motherfucker finna go up in there and say, fuck it, and pull his little knife out, and I'm not gonna get out the seat. But ain't none of y'all was in the motherfucking street like on the 6th.
And then it's hard to get in, you know, he kind of fucked up because it's kind of hard to get in the streets when 25,000 federal troops have now been nationalized and running around. So it's hard to do a coup when you let, you know, the troops that weren't there before now that are there. So it's kind of hard.
And they had clear instructions. Hit them from the front and knock some meat out the back. That was the instruction. They were gonna hit you from the front. It was gonna fly at the back, and that hole in the back was gonna be about that goddamn big. That's why you didn't go. But now you want to run around and scare people. Nobody scared of y'all. Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of proud pussies.
Well, I mean, they were scared straight, is what it was. You know, those are the people, as I say. You know, social media is the home of the brave, the home of the keyboard gangsters, where they just roam free. You know, on the internet, it sounds like a good idea. You know, I'm walking tall and talking tough. You know, they all on Parler and all these other, you know, internet sites where they gonna go and storm the Capitol and all that stuff. But then when they see they homies getting, you know, gappled up and doing some serious time, the FBI zooming in on people that look like a speck of pepper from, you know, the naked eye, and then they go to their mama's house and they get them. And then it's not fun anymore. It's like, oh no, yeah, we going to jail. Like it, you know, sounded good on the internet, but
yeah, you know, and another thing is, yeah, right now they're charging with trespassing and stuff, but you're on a federal level. So once they charge you with the little stuff, they're going to come back and put the insurrection and the serious shit on you, depending on how good of a lawyer you got. But what's her name? Joanne said, can the National Guard fire on the people? I'm a military guy. Let me tell you this. You're in the National Guard right now. You're sitting there with the gun in your hand. Somebody is coming at you, regardless if there's no orders to fire or not. Somebody's coming at you and you feel that your life is in danger. What would you do? There is no law in the military that says you cannot defend yourself. I'm not going to sit there and let you beat me in my head, and I got all this military equipment on, and I'm not going to use it. So yes, the National Guard can fire, especially if they feel that their life is in danger. So
they were given clear instructions to fire. But I saw one state capitol where it was one motherfucker there. One. You feel me? They knew what it was. They already knew not to go back. You know, and the thing was, is I think y'all did good by not going back, because would have been a bunch of dead Americans on American soil. You went out there with that crazy shit again. And just so that y'all know that, you know, some of y'all come from the backwoods and from hillbilly country. So when they show up at your mama house, like Demetrius say, they're arresting you, your mama, and your pet pig. All y'all motherfuckers going to jail.
sorry about that. I was doing my thing. But yeah, Joanna, yeah. So they had, okay, when the military does it versus the police department, the military has immediate immunity because they wouldn't be there if there wasn't a problem of insurrection. The biggest problem and one of the greatest laws in the United States, I'm gonna give you guys the game real quick. Why is it that 40% of all U.S. combat troops must remain in the United States? Does anybody know the answer to that? I'm going to give it to you anyway. Because have you noticed in these last couple of wars, before, like in Vietnam and stuff like that, the National Guard didn't really go fight those wars. The reserves didn't go fight those wars. President Bush's son, he joined the Guard. He joined the reserves because you weren't going to be deployed. We had an big active duty military, right? So now we have a small active duty military, but the active duty military, 40% of those troops have to remain in the United States at all times. Why? Insurrection. Insurrection. You don't have National Guard troops and reserve troops sitting there because they're citizen soldiers. They're going to their jobs. So you need those troops there. That's why we send now in our national defense, we send the Guard units and the reserve units out there on a rotational basis to fight these wars with some active duty troops. But that's why they're there. And if they're there to handle business. Cut and dry, period. I guess if I start just reading. But yeah, the National Guard is controlled by each state government. However, see, that's a state thing. But if I'm the Secretary of Defense and I call up any state thing, you can do that and put them on federal orders. The federal government always supersedes the state guard. So if I needed the California National Guard to come to Washington, I can federalize those troops and bring them to Washington. Doesn't matter what the governor says.
So do y'all think that now that all this is over, that there's a possibility that they didn't show up because maybe they were plotting and they gonna show up on another day? What y'all think?
I think they're a defunct organization now. I don't think I think they're disbanded. The wind is out of their sail. They have really no reason to do it anymore because Trump has abandoned them. But the good news is Trump says that he's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. He's even talked about forming a Patriot Party. So maybe they'll come back when he comes back, and he does his own little political party, but they don't have a reason to do it anymore. Trump was their reason. Trump, was giving them all the fuel to do it because a lot of them said Trump told us to do it. He told us to do it even long before that day happened. And so they don't have a reason to do it. So I think they're done. And plus jail, you got one fool talking about he needs to eat organic food. They trying to feed him some whatever they feed you in prison. And, hey, he's a shaman. Imagine that, a shaman of all people going up into the Capitol and getting crunk. He can't eat nothing but organic food. So, there's a lot of, what they call snowflakes like that can't handle being in jail. It was cute on the internet. But no, I don't think they'll be back. I think they're done.
Yeah. And there's you got some of these Trumpsters and these MAGA people believing that basically Trump down to Florida, he's forming the real government of the United States down in Florida. And that's where he's going to do. And he's regrouping and stuff. I mean, you got some crazy folks out there. So.
Well, I think that Trump will start a third party. I think that he actually will start that party and he'll have great participation. And that's going to mess up some things. But the only way it don't happen, if that old girl up in New York do what she say she gonna do, he ain't the president no more. You come see his ass now. And see, that's why I'm telling y'all, all this waiting. I'm about to go outside the house and sell a rock. You got 40 cars, a police, the motherfucking helicopters, the dogs, everybody around the house. Motherfuckers can damn near tear up the whole Washington, D.C. and you just say, fuck them. You know where they live at, and you won't go get them? Say, man, they just need to do what they need to do. And in the process, man, we got to deal with the shit that's going on because the race relations in this country is at an all-time high. It's horrible right now. And y'all that was gassed up, and a whole bunch of y'all got y'all ass whooped the last 4 years with your fly-ass mouths. Because everybody ain't gonna be no nigga in the grocery store. You need to figure that out, huh? Get slapped in the mouth with a can of tea. Y'all gonna, and you notice everything calm right now on that level. Yeah, all that calling the police on people for barbecuing in the park. I wish a motherfucker would. Say, man, y'all really need some pets.
And speaking of a third party, if Trump starts a third party, that will definitely help the Democrats because in the next election, because so many of y'all are going to be woke in these next 4 years that the Democrats are going to hope that Donald Trump starts that third party so that they can hold on to their seats. Because you guys got to remember, these people didn't come in on a mandate. Donald Trump almost won. We're talking about slivering. So it ain't like all it takes is a couple of thousand of votes to shift and it's over. And if the Democrats do not deliver for Black people, I don't care how many 11 million Hispanics you bring into this country, they ain't legal yet. And 4 years is 4 years, and we got a 2-year midterms coming up. So I believe we got to make these bastards pay and tell them that we mean business. And if they don't deliver, hey, the Democratic Party is going to be done. The Republican Party is going to be done. And it's just going to be mass chaos.
Well, who y'all think from the Republican side gonna run for president in 4 years? I see Pence. I see Mike Pence. I see him. Some of the things that he did at the end to set himself up for it. I just don't. I don't see some of the other ones. I think Pence gonna come back. You know, but like you say, Trump didn't get his ass whooped in the election. He didn't get his ass whooped. Now I tell you what, I hope y'all do something for black people. Cause a whole bunch of y'all black folk that down with Biden gonna be on the hook in 4 years. Cause if he don't do something, how you gonna go back and vote for this motherfucker, man? I'm just trying to figure that out. I mean, cause I ain't vote for neither one of them. Because I already know they don't do nothing for us, man. I mean, I'm down there on motherfucking on Rosalie Street in Third Ward. We don't see no Republicans or Democrats. Ain't nothing but a trap house. And if you ain't fucking with the trap house, you ain't coming up.
I want to answer the last question that was on there about the mandate, or not the mandate, but the shutdown. Do you think Biden will shut it down? No, he's not going to shut it down. He says he's not interested in shutting down the economy, but he is going to mandate masks to be worn on federal property, and he wants to do 100-day, wearing a mask deal in order to get the COVID to where it's supposed to be, and also he wants to do 100 million vaccinations within his first 100 days. I don't know how that's going to happen because they said the vaccination is well under where it's supposed to be. They said the rate is going now. We won't reach herd immunity, which is, where a lot of people have it to where it's not a big deal anymore for another 10 years, the way it's going now. But I think Josh Hawley, and I forget what state he's from, he's that douchebag Republican that, just everything Trump said, he agreed with, and he just hate everything Democrat. And so I think he'll probably come back. But I kind of want to switch gears a little bit because Gary, you said something, as far as after 4 years, what will black people be? And what are they going to think once Biden doesn't deliver? Well, they'll do the same thing they did this time. They'll continue to put somebody, a Democrat, or try to put a Democrat in office. Because again, they think the Democrats, and we know the Republicans aren't, so let's not have that argument, but they think the Democrats are going to save them. I cannot tell you how many people jumped on some of my posts today, acting a fool over some of the stuff that I said. And I'm like, I can't believe how many, well, yes, I can. How many people, though, are just vehemently defending white supremacy and defending this old ass white man and Kamala Harris, who have said they're not doing anything specifically for black people, but we watched him do at least 3 things for illegal immigration yesterday, and Muslims and LGBTQ, but nothing specifically for black people. And I've seen so many black people say, well, he's the president of all people. What's he supposed to do? Give him a chance. It's only day one. I'm like, this mofo had 50 years damn near to do something for black people if he wanted to. Now we got to give him a chance. He needs a fresh start. But it's like I know people who are having a rude awakening, if you will, because they didn't realize how deep the Walking Dead are in our community. They had no idea. And a lot of these people who are starting to wake up, now they're having people turn on them because now they're waking up. And those people who are turning, the zombies, I call them, they don't want to be awakened. And so, it's going to get rough out there.
My good friend Claude Foster said he got black DNC chair and vice chair. How does that help us? I mean, that we got so many firsts of black people in this, and you the first black person in that, and you ain't the last black motherfucker that fucked us. I mean, bottom line, man, I'm good with symbolism. The shit is cool some days, but when it come down to, just getting shit done, I mean, these people ain't gonna push no. But I mean, I want you to think about this here. Why has nobody filed an official complaint on Greg Travis at the Houston City Council? People are more concerned with holding the position than standing up when they should. They don't care about us, bruh. Whether they black, white, or whatever in those positions. You see what I'm saying? They don't care about us, man. And I'm cool. Like I say, some symbolism. It was good to see a black president. I didn't vote for him, but it was our time to have a black president. But you know what the word finna be now? Okay, you got a black woman vice president. You not a black president. Don't be surprised when the Mo Castro boys want to decide to run again and really make some noise. Because the more that the immigrant population adds to the Latino side, the more they're gonna want what they want. And you know what? I can't be mad at them because they put their boots on and go get it. We got to stop with the symbolism, man. If we get the first black whoever in there, make some noise like a black motherfucker, man. Like finally, HISD picked the school board president today. Black woman. Dr. Patricia Allen. What the fuck that mean? That don't mean she gonna do nothing. And that's what we gotta start understanding. Just because they black don't mean they good for us, man. Donovan?
Yeah, and I'm glad we kind of steered the conversation to this. Black people's population in a democratic society, if your population doesn't grow, then your numbers don't grow. You don't have a lot of say-so. So you mean to tell me in 60 years, at 13% 60 years ago, we're about 13, 14% now. Our political base and power of our vote hasn't increased. I mean, we're stagnant, and we know there's a lot of reasons for that. Homosexuality, murders, prison, whatever, whatever's going on. Or, we can't afford to have children like, back in the day and our parents used to have and stuff like that. So you got Asians in the 1970s that came here from Vietnam, and just Asians of the population, they were 2%. In less than 30 years, they are now 8%. They've increased their numbers, eightfold, 6 to 8-fold. Then you've got the Hispanics. You're going to let 11 million Hispanics just drop in within 8 years? And how do we catch up with that gap? They've got the votes. They've got the numbers. They're going to get their agenda. And here's a better example of that. Right now, here in California, the majority leader is a lady named Eloise Reyes. The California Assembly is 75% Democratic. She is now the majority leader. Yesterday, day one of her being there, she dropped a bill to deal with the immigration and the kids on the border, at the border of California. Reyes, her people. That's what you're supposed to do. We have this black general that's going to be a head of the Defense Department. They want to give him a waiver so he could be in charge of the Defense Department because there's a law. I don't even see why they even have a law to stop these guys if you're going to keep giving them a goddamn waiver. But they're going to give him a waiver so he can be in charge of the military, right? Now, some of you guys that were in the military, some of those regulations have nothing to do with black people. The hair regulations, especially for sisters. The sisters can't have braids. She can't have this. What good is having a black man in charge of the military or in charge of anything if you're not going to make it better for your people within those organizations or with us as a whole? And the first thing he's going to say is, well, I'm the Secretary of Defense. I'm supposed to take care of all Americans. Motherfucker, you can still do something specifically to your people. You know that some of these regulations, how does a black person taper their fucking hair? That doesn't happen. But these are the type of things that we need to address. Just because a person is black and the symbolism of it doesn't mean anything if you're not doing anything. We might as well keep the same white cracker up in there that we know ain't going to do nothing for us.
Gary, can you put up LaShawn Jones's comment? It went up. I'll read it. It says, how do you feel about Ashley Etney, I think that's how you say her last name, Karine Jean-Pierre, and Simone Sanders being the White House communication team, all black women?
Oh, okay.
All black women behind white women.
I tell you this here. It ain't but one person that could possibly say it the way that I'm going to say it. And y'all from Cali, you probably seen him. He probably on the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson, smoke it. I don't give a fuck. That shit don't help us. It does not help us. We're in a bad place. I don't give a fuck.
When was the last time that you saw a communications director put out policy, change laws? It doesn't happen. So, okay, Simone Sanders, who, by the way, should be nominated for the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, as one of the greatest linebackers next to Dick Butkus, okay? She was on the campaign for 2 years, putting her life on the line, and that's all you saw representing Joe Bigot Biden, right? Then he wins the presidency. What's the fucking first thing he does? He regulates her to Kamala Harris's press secretary. Now, Kamala Harris's, most of her team are Indians. Now, you got to remember, Indians are one of the most racist groups of people on the planet. And I know you guys are going to say, oh, you can't say that. You're stereotyping. They have a caste system in their culture. It's a caste system. So if that isn't racist, you tell me. Simone Sanders is only going to last so long. People like Jean-Claude Pierre, Simone Sanders, they're there to build up their resume. They don't care about black people. If they cared about black people, knowing what they knew about Joe Biden, Simone Sanders wrote the narrative to change the narrative on interviews to get away from him being the author of the crime bill. She was willing to do white supremacy all for a fucking check. And that's all these black women have done. They're not going to do anything. They don't care about us. They're there to get a check for themselves. Period. Point blank.
It don't matter who on the team. As long as we hurting, it ain't gonna get fixed. I'm Roland Martin. As much as he went to war for Joe, he couldn't find a spot for him. Stacey Abrams gave him the election. He couldn't find a spot for Stacey. You see what I'm saying? They gonna put who they want where they want. And they gonna do what they want to do. We are not the focus of what these people are doing. And that's all it boils down to. So we can keep playing their game, or we can keep playing their game, keep looking like suckers. Or we can just finally say the hell with it and separate from them. And all this talk about what we need to do, just do it. Because you're going to wake up and Trump and them going to have a whole nother political party, and we still going to be talking about starting one. That's all it boils down to.
I mean, and as a black woman, it's going to pain me to say this. Not really. I just thought I'd say that to kind of make people feel good. Black women, you talk about we're the backbone of the Democratic Party. We, black girl magic. Well, what have you gotten with your black girl magic? Have you cast any spells to get anything for black people other than a title and some symbolism? Yeah, sure. Simone Sanders, they're all in the White House, but they're behind another white woman. The white women are the ones that's doing all the speaking. I don't know her name, but the redhead, day one yesterday, she was out there delivering a press conference. She said she's going to be out there Monday through Friday. She said she ain't a monster, so she's going to give everybody a break on the weekends. But she's going to be out there every day, Monday through Friday, giving everybody the tea from the White House, if you will. But do y'all really think that Kamala Harris is going to allow somebody to speak for her? Hell, Joe Biden barely get a chance to speak. So you think she's going to let Simone Sanders come out there and say something for her? It's just a title. Simone Sanders will probably end up going to the dry cleaners and getting Kamala suits and all that. Nothing really significant, but for black women to be and I will agree, black women did deliver for the Democrats, but for all the work that the black women did, they don't have a real significant role in the White House. They have they gotta give the help. They gotta go through the back door, and help the massa next to the massa. I mean, come on. But apparently they're okay with that. But again, with your black girl magic and being the backbone, what are you bringing home for black people? What are you bringing home other than some symbolism? And you're strolling to the polls and your pearls and your Converse. Well, what are you doing? Absolutely nothing. You haven't helped Black people move the ball at all. With all this political power that you think you have, you haven't moved the ball for Black people. You just like having a little pat on the head from Massa saying you're doing a great job and, you know, thank you so much for all that you're doing. If you go on Twitter, you'll see a lot of people say we owe it to Black women. Without Black women, you know, we wouldn't be here. We'd still be under the tyranny of Donald Trump. But it's like, okay, well, what exactly do you owe to Black women? They don't, you know, other than a pat on the head or an acknowledgement from Twitter. You know, like Black people want reparations. We want these crime bills that Joe Biden put into office, all those we want all of those overturned. He ain't talking about doing none of that stuff. And even with the immigration bill, he's saying it's going to take 8 years for it to come to fruition. Hell, it could be a whole nother administration in there by the time it's over with. And let's say somebody like Trump does get back in office. You don't think they're going to overturn all of that stuff? Of course they are. And I heard Hispanic pundit, no, actually was the new senator from California. He says, well, we okay with the bill, but we would like for them to expedite it. 8 years is a little slow. And you watch, I guarantee you, Joe Biden is going to amend that bill, and it's not going to take them 8 years to get those 11 million immigrants into this country.
Yeah, real quick, Art Scales, and Dimitri, I want you to answer this question. He says, but they just got in office.
They just got in office. No, he didn't he just got in that office. But he's been the vice president for 8 years, and he was a senator, you know, way before that. Joe Biden has been in office since 1973 in one shape or form. So it's not like this is his first time legislating. In fact, Joe Biden had more power as a senator than he does as the president. So if Joe Biden wanted to change things for Black people, he had all the power to do it. He always said, well, I have friends on both sides of the aisle. You guys remember Anita Hill when they raked her over the coals? Joe Biden was the chair of the ethics committee, and he allowed his friends, the Republicans, to run roughshod all over that Black woman. So he could have done a whole lot of things. Don't get caught up on this is Joe Biden's first day in office as president. It's not his first day. He's going on 50 years.
Well, here's the thing. Naga ball trip. How can we get Black people together? Simple. Get some free drinks. Well, find a big ass field. Get some free drinks. Make it a free event. Some half-naked, booty-shaking motherfuckers. Some Zydeco music. And you can get us all together. Because outside of that, it ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just certain people I cannot work with. I'm not gonna work with them. It's not gonna happen. I know their pedigree. You know, our thing is we don't know how to play our position some days. Everybody can't be in charge. And most of the people that want to be in charge, dumb as a bag of rocks any goddamn way. So, you know, I don't have the time nor the patience, and I don't think that it's gonna happen. You know, we gotta figure out how to navigate this shit on our own. You know, everything Dimitri said is just flat out the truth, man. I mean, man, I don't know what it is, man, that you know, some people just don't get it, man. I mean, when Trump first day in office, motherfuckers was on Trump. But Joe, well, we got to give him time. What do you need time to do? With the stroke of a pen, he could change some shit. With the stroke of a pen, the man could have got rid of all the student loans. With the stroke of a pen. With the stroke of a pen, he could have got all them kids out them cages. All them little immigrant babies that's in them cages, he could have got them all out with the stroke of a pen. When you don't do things like that and you have the power, the question is why? You never intended to do it. But that tells me you really ain't the motherfucker in charge. You answer to somebody, and you don't want to piss off whoever you got to answer to. Dimitri?
Well, real quick, Precious Thomas has a question. Can you highlight that question for us? So do any of you guys know anyone who is in the cabinet who will listen to you? Well, see, here's the problem with politics. Once they get on a federal level, Precious, it ain't about me. It ain't about you. It ain't about anybody else. It's about who gives them the most money. That's who they listen to. They listen to their donors. Notice that when that insurrection happened, what was the first thing a lot of these corporations did? They wanted to distance themselves from certain politicians who either egged it on or, whatever. It's about the money. When people go to Congress, they spend over 50% of their time raising money, because you got to remember, these congressmen run every 2 years. The Senate runs every 6. So that's what they spend most of their time doing. You've heard stories of how these guys vote on bills that they never even read. Well, if you've been there for 2 years, I'm very sure you have time to read a few bills. They don't do that. It's about making money and staying in power. There's a guy named, he's in Florida. His name is Alcee Hastings. This guy was born in 1936. Congressional Black Caucus. Represents the 20th district in Florida. What the fuck are you doing being born in 1936 and still in Congress? Aunt Maxine got there in 1993. Aunt Maxine is in her late 70s, early 80s. What are these people doing?
They in Congress right along with Chicken George and Kizzy.
Exactly. Maxine is a congressman that has a chauffeur that drives her to the Capitol every day. And my poor girl, Dianne Feinstein, you guys see her. Look at the Senate hearings one day and look behind and see Dianne Feinstein sitting there. She doesn't even know if she's there or not. This woman has lost her faculties. They stripped her of her committee assignments. And yet she won't retire. Why? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. Why are these people still there? Poor Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That poor woman should have been at home with her loved ones, enjoying her grandkids, finishing her days. Why do they cling on to power? Because it's about the money and securing their family's future, period. It has nothing to do with us. Nothing. You know why? Because we don't give them report cards. We don't check up on them. We don't hold them accountable. We just give them our vote. Oh, well, who do we vote for? Johnson? Oh, yeah, let's give our money to Johnson. Because you don't care. Right now, if I asked you what HR 86 is, you couldn't even tell me. But this is how the system runs. And I'm not trying to, dog you out or anybody out, but this is the system. And this is what we're trying to change, to get everybody involved. We need to get these people that are going to represent us. And if they don't, you get those bastards out of there.
So I saw somebody in the comments say something about boycotting the corporations. Black people aren't good at we are good at boycotting, but we don't boycott where it matters. Dr. Claude Anderson says we do boycott. We boycott ourselves, though. We'll boycott the hell out of a Black business, which is why we are in the situation we're in. We'll go and give our money to everybody else. We couldn't fathom tearing our money away from white supremacy. So that'll never happen. As I said, we don't have the heart, the hustle, or any of that our ancestors had. They would have boycotted all day long. You guys know in history what they did to the bus system. They boycotted that over a whole year and brought it to his knees. We don't have that type of heart anymore. We can't imagine being away from the amenities of white supremacy at all. But we're very good at boycotting our own people. And, as far as...
We boycott certain things, D. They boycott paying their motherfucking bills on time.
Well, yeah. So, we are good at boycotting. And, people say things like, well, he's only been in office one day. Talking about Joe Biden. Give him a chance. That's because Negroes like making excuses for white people. They do. Oh, give him a chance. But you know who couldn't do that? A Black man couldn't. He wouldn't have half the rope that you give Joe Biden. Let's take it for example. You go into a Black restaurant, they forget your napkin. You ain't never, ever, 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 ever gonna go back there no more. And then you're going to get on social media and tell everybody how you shouldn't go over there. Ooh, child, you know, they just don't know how to do people right. Don't you know they only gave me one napkin? They know they supposed to be. You're going to make sure everybody knows that black man didn't give you a napkin. But let old Joe write all the crime bills and incarcerate your uncles, your mamas, your daddies, and your kids, all of that. You say, give him a chance. Give him a chance to do what? Give him a chance to do what that he hasn't already done. So again, it's just black people making excuses for old massa, you know, and like Malcolm X outlined in the house Negro versus the field Negro. You know, the house Negro is all in with Massa. Massa, we sick. But the field Negro is wishing for him to die. And that's where we are right now, 2021. You got some house Negroes and you got some field Negroes. The house Negroes want to give Joe Biden another chance. Oh, he's only been in there one day. What do you want him to do? That man wrote 17-ish bills, signed them. Not wrote them, he signed 17 bills. And none of them had anything to do with your black ass. Now, yeah, and I'm talking specifically. Because, you know, I saw some people try to post up some things and say, well, this economic thing. I said, nice try, but did you actually read it? That's an all lives matter bill. That don't say nothing about black people specifically. It says people of color, women, LGBTQ, which is exactly what the affirmative action bill did. And we know white women benefited the most from the affirmative action. So when you run around talking about what he is doing something for black people, no, read exactly what it is he say he's gonna do, and it's right there in black and white. It's not hard to read. He in the bill never says anything specifically for black people. It talks about everybody else, and those are the people who run around talking about Black Lives Matter, but then have the nerve to write an All Lives Matter bill. Get out of here.
You stepping on toes tonight, girl. They gonna wanna come for you. They gonna wanna come for you. Now I know some of y'all out there, you don't understand what she's talking about. So, you know, just pull your cap back. When it comes to your local politician, take your cap off. Let him walk up to you, pat you on the head, be good nigga for massa. We went through MAGA for 4 years. Now we gonna change that to MASA. You know, it stands for Make America Safe Again, but it say massa. Be a good nigga for massa, man. As long as you shutting up and being quiet right now, you being a good nigga for massa, man. And if that floats your boat, you can't complain about a motherfucking thing that Joe don't do. The ones of us that's really pro-black, we've been on his ass from the day he said he was gonna run. Man, we ain't like you from the day you say you was gonna run. That man could have did so much with that one ink pen on his first day. And I always tell people, live this shit like every day is your last day. If you can, if for example, if Trump can let 143 people out of jail, you know, on his last day, imagine if you let 143 out of jail every day. Because there's that many of them in there that's wrongfully incarcerated. And when you got that kind of power, what the fuck are you waiting on? I don't get it. Final thoughts, Donovan?
Real quick, I just want to address Claude Foster because he asked the question. Please grade President Biden's inaugural speech. Excellent, good, average, below average, poor. I give it a average. And the reason why I give it an average, because he says nothing like all the other presidents said. He didn't, you know, he's just playing it cool. He didn't say anything. He's trying to pull the heartstrings of all this 4 years of misery we've been through, and the Democrats are going to come and change stuff and make your lives better. Where have we heard that before? It seems like every 4 years we hear the same speech. So I'm going to give it average because it wasn't anything new and it wasn't anything old. But again, you guys like and share here. And please do not forget the 5 stars having his fundraiser. Please, you know, contribute to that. And, you know, like I said, if you want change, you got to vote change. I mean, you got to vote the right people for change. And this is the right person. You guys have been voting the correct speaking, the nice dressing, the play it safe, the prototypical politician. Let's try to get somebody in there that has a passion for our children. Let's try to get somebody in there. Yeah, it's a little bit unorthodox. The truth is being kicked in your face. But maybe you need that because when there's a scandal going down in the school that has to do with your children, do you want somebody to milkshake it and BS you? Or do you want somebody to say, this is what the fuck is going on? This is what you need to know. Don't forget to vote Jerry Monroe and for the fundraiser.
I see Angela's put her real picture up. I'm assuming that's you. Stop complaining. You should have ran for president. You know what, Angela? You're blowing smoke now. Now you're just trying to be cute.
White supremacy.
Well, you know damn well if any one of our black asses would have ran for president, you would not have voted for us. You cannot stand the thought of tearing your vote away from white people. There was black people running. You could have voted for them, but you weren't going to do it. And even if we did run for president, you won't vote for us. So knock it off. But, as far as the speech goes, to me, I give it an F. I don't remember anything that he said. I help people write speeches, and it was not fascinating. It was boring. I'd rather watch paint dry and water boil. It was awful. So anyway, I would just say, as I'm going to say every night, for the most part, stay tuned. You got 4 years to see that Joe Biden is who we thought he was. He's not going to deliver anything for black people. So, You
want me to grade him? Give him an F with a curve. Let me see what you're going to do. And I'm not giving you a week from now. I need to see what you're doing every day. I monitor my politicians every day. And then I like to grade you when it's done. If I graded him over his 50 years, he'd have an F minus. So now I'm going to grade you. I'm going to let you do a little work. But I don't see you doing anything for us. Donovan, right, I got my first fundraiser this Saturday, 3 o'clock at the Black Stove. At the Black Stove in the black neighborhood. Yeah. It's simple. You got people sitting on the school board that got tons of degrees. You got people sitting on the school board that can talk the fancy talk. I can talk. I want you to understand something. You don't negotiate $1 million deals and don't know how to talk to people. I'm a fixer. I know how to do that. A lot of people like, well, why don't you handle yourself a little better? Well, if you went back and you did the research on me, you would see when I walked through the door, I had on a nice suit. I was very cordial. Didn't raise my voice. And they shit it in my face. So for the last 9 years, all I've done is fight for children. All I've done is fight for teachers and administrators. I'm in Minneapolis right now. Got to catch a plane back home tomorrow. What did I wake up doing this morning? Fighting for an administrator in the Houston Independent School District. What you want is you want a fabrication. Do you want somebody that clearly has a passion for children, that has fought for children when he didn't have to, that knows every rule, regulation, policy, don't have to look it up, nothing? You want somebody that's going to be honest with you right now, Dimitri, am I correct? You want somebody to tell you that if you understood the numbers and the fact that HISD is down 11,000 children from last year, that there will be a deficit of $80 to $90 million. You want me to tell you the truth, which is they are going to have to close some schools. And guess what Gary Monroe would tell you as a constituent in my district? I can bet you your last dollar. They'll close one black one, but they're going to close a white one, They gonna close a Latino. They gonna close a specialty. You ain't closing all these black schools. But the numbers say that's what it's gotta be. This ain't nobody just trying to screw us. See, you want the truth from your politician. You want a public servant. See, a public servant like Gary Monroe, goes to the school and mentor children, creates programs for the children. I ain't just the dude that showed up that's just screaming and hollering. And you damn right I scream and holler some days because I'm pissed off and I'm tired. And I'm tired of our kids not getting a quality education. And I'm tired of people acting like they don't see the racism in the decision-making process of the Houston Independent School District. So guess what? I don't give a damn if you got $1. If you show up, you want to write a check for $1, or you want to put the dollar in the bucket Saturday. Show your boy some love, man. Because I can tell you one thing. I'm from the south side of Houston, Texas, and I've been knocking doors down for 9 years in education. I'm the baddest son of a bitch running around in education advocacy. No losses. That mean I battle they lawyers, and I win for these kids, and I win for these teachers. So if I lose, I can guarantee you're going to think they got a fire sale going on with schools, the way they going to close them motherfucker down. Don't say I didn't warn you, homie. Say, man, another spirited discussion from the best in the business. I want to thank you for taking time out to come and hang out with us. I know it get a little wild, but that's what it is. That's why you love us so much. I want to thank my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Say Saturday, man. Let's crank it up. I plan on walking the whole district.
Make sure they have your cash app because you got a lot of people asking for your cash app in here.
I put it in there. I put it in there. Hold on a second. Let me go to a banner. Let me see if we got one up in here. Bear with me for a second. Talk to him for a second.
Y'all want to dance? Ooh, ooh. No, I'm just playing.
No, but I do gotta say, we are waking a lot of people up, and a lot of people are waking up, and we appreciate it because we learn just as much from you as you do from us, because we damn sure don't know everything, but we're not always wrong either. So, big ups to you guys, and that's why we call you guys friends versus fans.
Yeah, so I put the cash app up. It's $ Gary Monroe. If you got $1, you got a quarter. Last time I had $900 to work with, and I made my opponent spend $60,000 because I'm cold when I get out there. I'm gonna knock on every door in District 9. We're gonna have a conversation because it's time to get them educated dummies off the school board and put some people on there that's gonna shake it up. If you think I'm joking, remember that girl I told y'all about in Fort Bend, Danita Williams, the female version? She got them shaking like booty meat out in Fort Bend right now. The superintendent on pins and needles. You gotta put somebody up there that's a move-in shaker. And it's time for 5-star to take his seat. Say until tomorrow, man. We'll holler at you.